Hello, everyone. Thank you for jumping on. Super excited about tonight. First of all, we can see that Cassie's in her nursery, which is exciting. But Cass, I'm going to have you start by honestly, there's some new faces on here that don't even know who you are. So just tell us a little bit about you, where you were before, where you are now. Feel free to take as long as you want or as short as you want. But obviously, we all want to hear what you've done because it's incredible. So go for it.
Okay, awesome. So I'm Cassie. If you don't know me, I'm 26 years old. I've been in the business now a little bit over 6 years. I joined when I was 20, and at the time I was a broke college student. I was working 3 different part-time jobs, going to school. I hated school. I went just because I had to go, but I was not a good student. And I was always skipping classes, but I was a really hard worker and I was always picking up extra jobs. And at the time, me and my husband Spencer were living in a tiny little studio apartment. We were living on our own at a very early age. And we had a lot of bills to pay and we barely made it. And he was working a lot of jobs that were physically demanding. And I was just so sick and tired of being broke all the time. I wasn't passionate about anything. I changed my major like 3 different times. And then I found the business on Instagram. I was very skeptical. I'm very introverted and shy. So I did not think that this was for me. It was very out of my comfort zone. But after watching the girl I signed up with for 3 months, I finally got started. And I'm honestly like the kind of person that doesn't like to half-ass things. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to go all in. And that's basically what I did. So I had a lot of opposition in the beginning. I had a lot of people like making fun of me and just telling me that I wouldn't do well or that it was a scam, whatever, you name it, I heard it. And honestly, I just let that fuel my fire even more and like let that motivate me to prove those people wrong. So in the first month, I went Ruby, second month Diamond, third month Double. So I promoted really quickly in the beginning. And when people asked me how I did it, honestly, it was just ignorance on fire. I knew nothing. I did not have a big social media presence by any means. I only had 300 followers when I joined, and I honestly just did what I was told. I did what my enroller told me to do. I was very consistent. I definitely worked this business like a business since day one. And then 10 months in, I went triple diamond, and that's when things really started to get kind of crazy. I was able to quit all my jobs and do this full time. Spencer was able to come home with me full time too and work with me as well. He loved the business and he wanted to work it with me. So he was able to quit his jobs. We were able to move into a new apartment, a nice apartment that was safe. We were able to buy a new car, pay off debt. I also dropped out of school in that time frame as well. I just decided I was going to go all in with this. There was no sense in racking up more student loans. And then, so like life was really good. And then about a year after that went presidential. And then 5 months after that, about 2 years into the business, went ambassador, which is the top of the company. And then right after that, we moved to Florida. It was always my dream to live somewhere warm and sunny. We're originally from Connecticut and we love it here. We've been here for almost 4 years now. We built our dream home here and now I'm pregnant, which is so crazy to even say. We're expecting our first baby. And honestly, like if it wasn't for the business, like I don't know where my life would be. I don't know like what I would be doing. I'd probably be miserable at some job. I definitely wouldn't be able to be home with our future baby. And the fact that it's not going to just be me, it's going to be Spencer as well, just such a huge blessing. I don't have to worry about finances and like paying for things like that. Obviously, babies are really expensive, and I had no idea how expensive they were until obviously we got thrown into it. And it's crazy. Like we're paying, I don't know if you guys know this, and maybe you guys are moms, but like they make you pay for your delivery before you even deliver your baby. I started paying for it like a couple months ago, and it's like $4,000 like out of pocket. And I'm like, wow, like this is crazy. But like I'm just so blessed I'm able to just pay for it, along with like all the added costs of just like preparing for a baby. We've been able to give back so much, help our family. We've been able to travel. There's honestly like countless things we've been able to do. I've met like the most amazing people. And honestly, I could just go on and on about like what the business has done for us, but I'm just so in love with the business. I love the fact that we get to own our time, be together every single day, and just live like a life of freedom that never would have been possible if it wasn't for the business.
Love that. Thank you. And then I just love to throw this in, and you're too humble to throw it in. But how old were you when you hit Millionaires Club with It Works?
I think I was 23.
23 years old and
Yeah.
$1 million. And coming from, living in Connecticut and having an apartment that, like she said, small studio apartment, not in the best area. Like it's so crazy that by 23 years old, she hit Millionaires Club. So congrats. That's awesome. But tonight I really wanted to have you focus on, and honestly, for those of you watching, I hope you have like a notepad out and you soak this all up because I feel like I need a refresher on this. So if you're newer, you are probably going to love every bit of this. But Cass, I was hoping tonight we can just kind of do some like social media training and your best tips. And if you want me to like drum up some questions in my head, of course I can, or I can just kind of let you take the stage. But I just feel like we really need a social media training, like all the things.
Yeah, I mean, definitely questions. If you guys like think of things, ask them. Or Nicole, if you can think of things, ask them. Just because I feel like there's so many things that we can talk about when it comes to it. So do we just go?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So like for me personally, I've always built my business primarily on Instagram. Obviously, there's so many platforms now. We have Facebook, we have TikTok, and I think it's most important that we use all three and utilize everything. But I'm just really good at Instagram. That's what I've always done. And just like the very basics that you guys probably might already know, or maybe if you're new, you just don't know. Um, the handful of things that I do every single day to grow my Instagram would be to follow new people every single day. That's how I basically grew my following organically. And posting every single day on your story. So back in the day, we didn't even have stories. We just posted on our feed. Obviously, things are different now. Now we have an algorithm. Things are always evolving on Instagram and stuff like that on social media. But we just have to kind of roll with it. Obviously, now there's Reels, there's TikTok. So whatever Instagram throws at you that's new, you want to utilize it because it's going to be favored to you in the algorithm. So if you use TikTok and you use Reels, that's great. Make sure that you utilize both. So if you're making TikToks, post them on your Reels. If you're making Reels, post them on your TikTok. But I definitely want to make sure that you guys are using your stories like every single day, multiple times a day. That's like the most important thing that you can do. Posting on your feed as well. Obviously, don't neglect your feed. It's still really, really important. People are going to read those captions. So make sure that you're posting on your feed at least like once or twice a week minimum, and make sure that you're sharing the business because that's like your resume to your Instagram. People are going to go look at your first couple pictures and see what that's about. So make sure it shares the business in some way, shape, or form. What I like doing is, especially from the very beginning, was finding people in the business that I could relate to, people that I looked up to, people that inspired me, and I would follow them and I would put on their post notifications so that I could see what they're posting. And that's basically how I learned how to post. I just studied what other top earners were doing and I just copied them, but made it my own. And then also too, like if you're still trying to get in the habit of like staying consistent with posting, putting on those post notifications is going to remind you to post. It's going to teach you how to do what they're doing. And it's very simple. Anything is duplicatable. So do that as well. And then even like right now, I notice like sometimes our story views are super funky. So don't get upset. Like if you notice like your views are down or your likes are down, at the end of the day, I remember this from when Nicole told me that Brittany Hayes told her, and she's an ambassador. She said likes don't equivalent to dollar bills. So even if you're not getting like the most likes or you don't have the most followers or the most views or whatever, that doesn't matter. As long as you're consistent, you're showing up and you're talking to people, you will be successful. It doesn't matter like what your platform looks like or if you have a huge following or not. I know girls that have like the biggest following ever and they don't even utilize it. And I have some people on my team who don't even have 10,000 followers and they're absolutely killing it because they just know how to do it the right way. So don't get upset and caught up with the numbers game because it just simply doesn't matter. But some tips that I'm sure maybe you guys, some of you guys already know, putting up engagement things. So for example, I noticed if I put up like questions on my story or polls, like just like a couple of them, just it could be honestly anything. I posted some today. You guys can go to my Instagram for reference just to see. Every single time I do something like that, that creates some sort of engagement, it spikes my views like crazy. I'll go from like, I'm not even kidding you, 200 to 300 views to like 1,000 views within 24 hours. And that's great because it's going to boost all my business views or my coffee views because I want people to see those things. So posting things that create engagement really, really helps. So if you feel like your views are down, post something like that. And I promise you, you're going to see such a huge difference. I noticed it on all my accounts across the board. I have 3 Instagram accounts. And I notice every single time I do that, all of the views will like either double or triple within 24 hours. So posting something like that.
Quick here. We always say like, don't compare yourself to other people. Comparison is the thief of joy. So when you're hearing Cassie's numbers and she's saying it could jump to 1,000 views, Cassie on one of her accounts has over 17,000 followers. So don't like get in your head and be like, what? I get like 5 views. It's all relative with how many followers you have. So I just feel like I know this one's probably thinking that.
No,
She
yeah,
overthinks.
Today, yeah, no, but today, like I had an interactive
the polls on there, like would you rather's, and it literally spiked from, I was getting like a little bit over 100, and it was up to 250 views, and I was just like, whoa, I saw it and I was like, oh. So any jump is really exciting. Don't think if it's not at 1,000 it's not as exciting, because any jump, it's all relative. If you don't have 17,000 followers, you're of course not going to get the story views that Cassie's seeing. So I just felt the need to say that. Keep
Oh
going.
yeah, that's important. I noticed even on my third account, which is like my smaller account, I think there's like 3,000 followers on it, which is still great. I'll have like maybe 100 views after every 24 hours, but when I put those engagement posts up, it like doubles. So I know what it's like to have like low views on certain accounts too. So yeah, that's really, really important. I forgot what I was going to say afterwards. I lost my train of thought. But yeah, that helps so much. And then if you guys aren't utilizing TikTok, definitely utilize TikTok. What's really great about TikTok, and it could be a hit or miss, is that it's automatically organically going to grow your Instagram if you're consistent with it. So I've experienced this myself. I've seen a lot of people grow their Instagrams organically without even having to follow people. They're just getting followers just because they're consistent posting on TikTok. So some good people to follow on TikTok. If you guys don't follow Nyara, she has a lot of great business examples. Her TikTok name is the same as her Instagram name. It's just Nyara__ Ribeiro. So go follow her. She has a lot of good examples. And what I like about her is obviously if you go to her TikTok and now you'll see she has got a good amount of following, but in the beginning she didn't. She wasn't really big on TikTok. She wasn't posting a ton. She wasn't getting a ton of views, but then she started posting business TikToks like every day. And she was getting really consistent with it, and they weren't getting a ton of views, but because she was posting so many of them, she was getting a ton of followers, and she was getting a ton of influencer applications, and therefore a ton of enrollments, and a ton of new people to message over on her Instagram. So, and I love the fact that this was like before her videos even went viral. Obviously, if you're very consistent on TikTok and you're doing it the right way, making your videos, nice, short and sweet, good quality, you're using the viral sounds, hashtags, things like that. It's just a matter of time before something goes viral. Obviously, don't put all your eggs in one basket, because TikTok is very wishy-washy in the sense of like you can work really hard at it and still get nothing. It's just the luck of the draw, I guess. But I do believe if you're consistent with it, even if you only get 100 views on a video, what if that's 5 people that are interested that fill out an influencer application and you get a distributor from it? Like that can happen. And then of course you're going to get followers. And then another tip that Nyara also shared with me that I thought was kind of genius is, so if you're on TikTok, if you don't know this, you need 1,000 followers to add a link to your bio. So of course, once I hit 1,000, I added my milkshake link. And I noticed Nyara didn't have hers on her Instagram, or on her TikTok, I'm sorry. And I asked her why she didn't. And she said because more people would go over to her Instagram and follow her because there was no link. So it was kind of like her way of tricking them. So obviously we want people to go to our link to look at the influencer application and fill it out, but she was having people kind of skip that step, go over to their Instagram. Therefore they were all following her because they were already there. And doing that, she was able to grow like a couple thousand followers in a couple months, which is a lot for Instagram right now. It's like a very big way to grow. So I personally took my link out, and I feel like it's already working a little bit better. So I definitely think, and then she just put in her bio, go over and follow my Instagram, something like that. So it doesn't even matter if you don't have 1,000 followers, like you don't even need it. Just make sure that you link over your Instagram to your TikTok.
That's so funny you say that, because I have always watched Nay's following on Instagram, because her and I have always been pretty close. And then when my other account blew up, I have always known her following, and I was like, how did she get so many followers so quickly? And that makes so much sense.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. It's crazy.
Wow.
And then Haley actually tried it too, because Haley was like, I don't get it. Like, how is she getting so many? She tried it, took the link off. She grew like a couple hundred followers in just a few days after her videos popped off. Like they were just coming in. So that's a good little tip. Yeah, definitely. So just make sure they're utilizing that, but also to like, don't avoid like doing the actual work when it comes to like the business. So obviously when I say work, I mean, still follow people, still message people. I always cold message, like from the very beginning, even 6 years ago, we've always messaged on Instagram. And obviously to this day, it still works. It's not necessarily the same as it used to be, but it still works. And I still message people, and posts on Facebook. So important. So just because you're doing the reels, or you're doing the TikToks, or you're making the posts on Instagram, that's all great, but that's still not like the work. To me, what's like actual productive work is having conversations with people, with potentials. So if you're not having conversations with potential customers, potential distributors, you're still not being as productive as you can, because that's the whole point of the business. Like we have to sign people and help them. So do all those other things, which can help you bring people in, but it's still not going to be like the only thing that's going to work, because like I said, it's a hit or miss. Facebook host post is amazing. You guys need to be doing that. I personally have been doing gummies host to post for like the last few months. It's been working great. I think with host to post, it's one of those things where like you can do it and it can work for a while. And then sometimes it kind of comes to a stop where you kind of just don't know like why it's not working the same anymore. And what I've learned, and I've talked to Haley a lot about this, because Haley's like the queen of host to post, and she signs, anywhere from like 50 to 100 customers a month just on host to post, is that she's just always playing with the algorithm and like switching up her posts and just seeing what's working. So obviously if I get like 10 or 15 posts up that aren't getting comments, I know that I need to switch up my posts and find something that's working. So I'll even go out of my way and I'll just ask Haley, hey, what post is working for you right now? And she'll share it with me, and I'll tweak it a little bit, and I'll use that. So don't be afraid, to reach out to Nicole, reach out to me. Obviously Nicole can be asking me too, and figure out like what post is working the best for people right in this moment. Because if you see someone enrolling from it, it's obviously still working. What I like to do for host posts, if you guys are new or haven't done it in a while, I like to make a giveaway post typically about once a month. I like to do it less often than more often, because I feel like it gets more engagement if I don't post it as often. And then I usually get a ton of comments. I will go through those comments for the next week or two, having people post about the giveaway. And then whenever that kind of dies down, what I like to do is I like to message people on Messenger that are active, call it green light messaging. And I ask those people to do me a favor. I can give you my verbiage after if you guys like want the scripts, if you don't have scripts for it. But basically I just ask people to post for me, and I'll do that, once a day. I'll send maybe 20 to 30 messages, however many it takes for people to respond and actually put up the post for me. And then I always follow up as well too. So it's very normal to send like 30, 40 messages and have maybe 10 people respond. That's very, very normal. So don't be discouraged by it. That's very normal. But one thing that I always do too is I always follow up like the next morning. So if people didn't answer my initial message, I will message them again and I will ask them, because you'll be surprised how many people will forget to respond, or they just didn't yet, or they didn't see it yet. And I get so many people that actually put up the post for me because I actually follow up with them. So I do that pretty much every single day if my host post feels like it's like dying down a little bit. And then that kind of gets me till the next time I post the giveaway. And I do that every single day. And doing that, I'm able to sign a good amount of customers. I would say most of my customers now do come from host to post. Like I said, I'll still post on TikTok, I'll still post, or I'll still cold message on Instagram. It all still works. But I want to be doing a little bit of everything just to make sure that like I'm benefiting from everything the best I can. Let me know if you guys have like specific host to post questions. I feel like a lot of people probably already do it or know what it is, but if you don't, just ask questions. But that's like the most important thing that you can do for your business. Like host post is going to grow your business, it's going to grow your Facebook. I personally think it's even easier than messaging. But like I said, ask questions like if you don't know how to do it, or if you just like need some tips on how to work it better.
Don't be scared to ask questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question. That's why we're here. That's why we do these trainings, for you guys to be able to, get this one-on-one training. But obviously Cassie is very high up in the company and doing great. And we could tell just by everything she just told us, it's because she's doing all the things. It's not, let me focus on this, and because of this, I'll like excel. We have to be doing all those things along the way. And when it comes to TikToks and reels and stuff, you just have to do them. Don't overthink them. Don't spend all your time making one video. Just literally get on there. When I look like this and my hair is up and I'm like crazy looking, people do not care about that if you're delivering good content. If you are offering them something they want to see or they can learn from or whatever, then they're going to watch it. It doesn't matter what you look like. So don't feel like you have to be all done up. Just literally get out there and do it, because people will relate to you. And honestly, that's one of the most important things in this business, is being relatable and not looking like this perfect creature. Like I remember, honestly, Cassie in the beginning, looking at all her pictures, and I'm like, they're so perfect. They're this, they're that, they're this. And then I met her and I'm like, oh, she's pretty perfect, but she's not totally perfect. But it was just like, you don't have to be this perfect person and have all your shit together, because none of us do. So just get out there and do it, because you will be so much more relatable. When I'm like, if you guys follow me on Instagram, I'm just like shot all the time. And I get so many swipe ups because people are just like, dude, you are hilarious. But that's just me. So if that's you, then utilize it. If it's not, then don't. Just be you and be relatable. There's something I was going to ask you before.
I'm reading the question. I mean, honestly, people are going to always have different opinions about how things work. I don't think that either one is necessarily right. I think that for me, when it comes to TikTok, at least, and reels and stuff like that, I'm always going to post business stuff. Obviously, I'm always going to post the coffee because those are the two things that are going to help benefit me in my business. And then I'll post things that I like. So if there's like a trend going on or something that's viral that I want to replicate, I'll make a video about it. But if I don't want to, then I won't. It's just whatever fits your personality. I mean, I don't know how else I would. Like me and Nicole have very different TikToks. Like she posts things that are different than me, but that's what, you know, relates to her personality versus me, but we can both still do really well.
Just to answer that, and I don't know, Cassie, if you would agree too, like maybe getting more comfortable, like doing the trends and just copying the trends first, getting
Yeah.
comfortable in front of the camera. And then I feel like more recently my creative juices have started like flowing with different words and like stuff to put over it. Like you still do the trends, but it's words like you haven't seen people put on the video. So it's just like, get yourself comfortable, copy the trends. Nobody's going to diss you for it. People do it every day. I got something to say. Stop overthinking it and just get on TikTok and have fun and do the things and get out there, because you are wasting so much time thinking about what to do when you could just do it. Things are going to flop. Things are going to go viral. Things that are so stupid that you don't even put. Lauren and I made this TikTok the other day. We were like, this is the one. That was one of my viral TikToks, actually, that sound. But we were like, this is the one. Like we spent time on it. We went outside in the pouring rain. We were like, this is going to be it. And mine barely broke 1,000 views, which is like, for my following on Instagram, again, it's all relative. That is nothing. Like I usually hit like 1,000 views like within my first 2 hours, because that's just my following. It barely broke 1,000 views days after. I was so upset. But the TikToks where I'm like this on the couch and like being stupid literally blow up. It never fails. So don't overthink it and just get out there and do it. I'm such an overthinker. So
And at the end of the day too, like you don't have to sit there trying to think of content. Like I love to use me as an example too. Like if you go to her TikTok, literally every single TikTok is a business TikTok. Yep. I think maybe she's posted like 2 that were like not relevant to the business. Probably because she just doesn't want to waste her time making content that, you know, doesn't matter to her. Yeah, it's not making her money. Exactly. Obviously, if it's something that you want to do that's entertaining for you, that you enjoy doing, obviously do it, but don't waste all your time trying to do it and think about it. I know what it's like Nicole, to waste an hour making a TikTok that absolutely goes nowhere. It's total waste of time. I would much rather just bang out a business one really quick, know that it's going to do something for me, and then move on to the next thing. So yeah, definitely just like make sure that you're using your time wisely and you're doing something income producing.
So coming down to it, you guys make sure you're utilizing Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, unless you're like Nicole K, who still somehow does not have reels on her Instagram. We don't know. We've reported every problem possible, but she does not have the reels option. You should be getting all of those reels out there and vice versa on TikTok, and just do them all the time. You're sitting here and you're watching all of us do TikToks. And I mean, I've had TikToks blow up where I literally wake up to like 500 influencer applications overnight. But I'm very consistent on TikTok and I post all the time. So you just have to do it. Stop overthinking it. Go have fun. Do the things, like dance like an idiot. People love it. But you still have to utilize everything else along the way. Instagram stories, like Cassie was saying, do those polls. Do like not even business polls or anything like that. Just like summer this or that. Do you like this or that? Whatever it is, and that will boost it, because TikTok or Instagram is going to see people are voting on your stuff, which means it's providing them something. So they're going to push you out to more people. So utilize Instagram, get on there and use your stories, put your face on your stories. Just do all the things that make you uncomfortable, because that's what's going to make you the most money at the end of the day. Any last words? I always hate this question when I do Zooms. So it's fine if not, but anything that, you feel like everyone could benefit from?
I mean, kind of like what I was saying before is just don't wait for people to like come to you. I feel like so many people now try to do like the lazy work, which is like making the content and then thinking, okay, like I did my work for the day. Now I'm just going to wait until my phone blows up. And if nothing happens, then that's fine. I'll try again tomorrow. At the end of the day, like it would be great and good if I could just post TikToks all day and just have people flooding my phone. And that could happen. Hey, but that's not realistic to grow a business long term. I think the most important thing is just making sure that you're sending out the follow-ups every single day, that you're sending out the host post messages, that you're sending out the cold messages, and you're doing everything that you need to do to actually have those actual conversations, because that's what's going to make you money. So just remember, like whatever you're doing, make sure it's income producing, make sure you're pouring into yourself and that you're starting your day, you know, doing some sort of personal development that's going to set the tone for your day. Make sure that you're plugging into Zooms. Obviously, if you're on right now, you're on a Zoom, which is great. And just doing the things that are going to make you money. Like you didn't join this business just to make TikToks, like you joined to make money. So make sure that you're doing those things. I just think that's so important, because I feel like with the way things have changed nowadays, people have kind of shifted how they're doing things. Whereas back in the day, we didn't have all these tools available to us, which is great. And we had no choice but to go out and just message people and talk to people. And I honestly kind of miss it a little bit, because I feel like it was just the best way to do it. But now we have so many things. So obviously just make sure that you're learning how to do all the things. Make sure that you're doing host posts. If you don't know how to do it, message me and I'll help you. Go watch a training on host posts. There's so many trainings that you can watch. Go make sure you're getting on the enroll-a-thons. Haley Cox hosts one every Friday night. There's like a rotating schedule of like 3 different leaders that do them. And they're always sharing like their best tips to enroll. They're all mass enrollers, top leaders in the company, that they know what they're doing. Make sure that you're getting on there and you're learning from them. But at the end of the day, like, just know that like you have to do the work. Like there's no shortcut to success. Like I know even 6 years in being in the business, you know, yesterday's success is not today's success. And I know that I have to still go out there every single day and work like I'm a brand new distributor. If I want to keep growing, if I want to raise my paycheck, if I want to get to the next level and help more people, because it's not going to just happen all by itself, just if I wish for it. Like I have to believe it, but I also have to put in the work too. And action is a cure to all fear. So if you feel nervous, or if you feel discouraged, or if you feel like any kind of way, just know that working and actually putting out the work is going to make you feel better no matter what. I know that whenever I'm having like a crappy day, or I don't feel good because something happened in my life, or if I don't feel good because I'm not enrolling, it'd be so much easier to just sit down, put on Netflix and just do nothing and forget about it. But I know I feel so much better, more productive and proud of myself when I actually get work done. And typically always when I get work done, I always enroll, because that's usually what happens. And I always end up feeling better about myself versus if I just did nothing. So just be willing to call yourself out and own it if you feel like you need to call yourself out, and just do something about it. Can we get some ideas on what to post? Do you mean like, that's kind of like a general question, like posting on your story or posting on your feed or videos? Like, what do you mean by that?
She's about 3 days in, so.
Oh, okay. So honestly, I mean, there's so many things that you can post.
Well, here, I'll jump in quick and say this.
Okay.
When we get off this, I will give you guys some top leaders to post. I know this is what I did, and I know Cassie did this too in the beginning. Success leaves clues. So just follow, like on social media and stuff, just follow the people that are successful and watch what they're doing. Like Cassie said in the beginning, she would put people's post notifications on. So she would know when they're posting. It would not only remind her, hey, you should be posting, but then she would get to go to their page and look at what they were posting and read their captions and really get the idea. Since you're so new, you're obviously still learning all this. We're moving through this and the training and stuff, but that is honestly, I don't know, Cass, if you want to jump in and add anything, but that is how I learned how to post, is by literally I'm like, who's successful? What are they doing? Let's follow them.
Yeah, no, that was literally what I did, like verbatim.
So I'll send you some people to follow. I'll send them in the group pages. But Cass, when you were talking before about like putting action behind it, of course you have to believe it, but you have to put in the work. It always reminds me of Carrie Young's video where she's like, I can believe, I can dream that my house is clean, and I could go in my closet and I could believe it and I could see it and I can envision it. But if I don't put in the work, I'm going to walk out of the closet and the house is still messy. So that's always something that, if you know me, I can't remember shit, but I remember that. So you have to believe it, but you also have to back it with that work. So I think that's all. Any last minute questions? Going once? Don't be scared. Going twice. Thank you, Cassie. You're the best.
You're welcome.
And if you guys have any like questions, don't feel like you can't ask questions after we jump off of this. If you do have a question and if I can't answer it, I'll send it right over to Cassie and we'll get her response too. So don't be scared if you're a little nervous to ask on here. But Thank you, Cass. You're the best. And see you guys next week.
Bye. Night.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome.